siStar Simone here. I have had just a glorious day of synchronicities that I wanted to share, um, mainly because I went through a period where I wasn't having any. So, in my understanding, uh, the, the synchronicities in our lives are kind of there to show us that we're on the right path, that things are going our way, and that all is good. It is, even if it's not, but it's definitely a positive thing when the synchronicities come out, and you can see them. I may have had some before, but I wasn't seeing them as something glorious. Anyway, so today's Wednesday. I attend a group called the Spiritual Awareness Center here in Montrose, which I am now the vice president of. Anyway, we do coffee every Wednesday morning, and I take the bus, and I get to walk by this place called Heirlooms for Hospice, which I go in every Wednesday and take a look around. Sometimes I find something, sometimes I don't. And today I went in really with no expectations. I go and look a lot at the books for one, and just look at the knickknacks and see if I can find any magical items there, anything that I could use too, something for the kitchen, etc. So today, I go in there and I happen to look down on the floor. There's this basket with all these little kitchen things in it, and in there are some muffin pans, which I've been looking for a while because I've been wanting to make organites. 2 weeks ago, I actually got some glass punch bowl cups that I was going to use, but I didn't. I mean, that I got to use for organites. Not exactly what I wanted, and just here's an example of a part of one that came out. Anyway, I'll get into that for a minute. Anyway, so I find all these muffin pans. Woohoo! Anyway, so that was great. I found those, and again, that had not came into my mind that I was looking for those because I had gotten these really nice little glass cups to use instead. Then I'm walking around the corner, and boom, I found a grater, the square grater, tall grater with all the different things on it. I hadn't been able to get one, so, and there it was, boom. So I get that, and that's all super and good, and I go to my my coffee, and that was really super good. We work with Louise Hay, her affirmation cards, and as typical, all those cards that we drew, each of us draw one. They were all super appropriate for every one of us there. So that, anyway, so that was really super cool. Then my chiropractor's right up the road, and I thought, oh, I'll call them and see if they have available appointments so I can get in and get adjusted. Lo and behold, they had one right at the right time for me. I also, on the way there, I go to True Hardware, and I needed some more things to make my organites. So I went in there, and everything was there. Actually, the clerk, the one thing that I asked for, some copper pads, he didn't think they had any, and he directed me to an aisle, and I was like, surely they have them. And I went to the next aisle, and they had them. So it was all super synchronistic how that all worked out, because that's just the way it was going. And so I go to the chiropractor, and that was great, and got to talk with them about some things. Essential oils, which, oh my goodness, I cannot even sing my praises loud enough for what these oils can do. I'm looking at my finger. I had filleted it a week ago. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. Yeah, no, over here. This is backwards. No. Where is that? Right there. All right, see that right there? I actually, I do have some other pictures of it. I have used nothing on there but lavender and tea tree oil. anyway, so we talked about that at the chiropractor's office. And, oh, and also, the receptionist, um, I was talking about the oils and the kids and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you're such a good influence on them." And then she perked up and she says, "You know what, Simone, you're a good influence on all of us." So that, that made me feel really, really good, that that's recognized, outside of, anyway, um, it made me feel really good. So anyway, so I'm going to catch the bus home, which is across the street in front of a thrift store, which I frequent all the time because I just love the guy that works there. He's just super awesome, and the money that he makes there, he actually gives that to programs that work with kids. And anyway, so I walked in there, and I didn't even open the door. I could see them right inside the door, and they were muffin pans. And of course, I didn't need it. He had some in my backpack. And then I walk in the door, and he's got one of those graters sitting right there on the counter. I know that sounds kind of quirky or whatever, but it was just, for me, it was like, it was a sign that today was the day. And now I'll get back to the organites. I wanted to make them, I actually wanted to do them at the new moon, but I didn't have my metal shavings. And then I got the idea where I could get some metal shavings right at the grocery store, and in the form of copper scouring pads. And I actually like the copper better because it has better properties than the aluminum or the stainless steel shavings that I could get from the metal worker guy. Anyway, so I get these glass containers, and I get my metals and stuff, everything like Thursday, just before the full moon and the blood moon. And this was, I wanted to make them then, because there's good energy and stuff, and it's transforming energy. And anyway, so I made them, and for whatever reason, I was hearing from other people on the YouTube University always saying, don't use too much of the catalyst in the resin, or it's going to cure really fast, and that creates some undesired things within it. So I was like, okay, don't use too much of this. So I'm dripping. Anyway, I didn't put enough in, and they didn't form, and I put some more in. Long story short, they didn't turn out because I was kind of in a hurry, okay? So today when I saw, the pans at the first store, and then when I seen them at the second store, it was like a sign. It was like, okay, this is the right time to be doing it. You got your pans, you got it the way you wanted it in the beginning. So I just wanted to share that because to me that's real important to be aware of that. So actually the last 2 weeks have been full of really cool synchronicity type events. It's funny, I have a little book here just a little calendar book that I write little things in that happen during the day so I can remember them later. And so I can look back and see that on the 25th of March, things started happening. 2 days prior, I had had a conversation with a new friend that I made in Hawaii just before I left, and was sharing with them some of the things that I was doing, which were not things that he actually had shared with me to do. Anyway, and I showed him what I was doing, and I had just previously said, yeah, I haven't been having a bunch of synchronicities. Anyway, he's like, well, that's because you're doing this instead of this. Sure enough, right away I got back on track, and within 2 days I am having big synchronicities, big things to notice. 2 weeks ago Wednesday, the one was I walked a couple of blocks to catch the bus to get to my coffee on Wednesdays. Anyway, that day I had some issues or whatever, and I was late, and I missed the bus. I watched it drive by, and instead of being all pissed off, because he was a minute or two early, but I was like, oh, no accidents, no coincidences. I sat down for a minute, recomposed myself, and it came to me, something says, go ahead and walk. And it's really a far way, but something, I felt good. It was, it was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. And I thought, what the hell? Walk. You have time. It's, I won't get to go to the thrift store or whatever. But hey, I started walking, and then I get to an intersection, and I was going to turn right and go out to the main street, but something said no. Continue down here. Go look at the houses. See how all the flowers and stuff that are coming up. Son of a gun, I didn't get a half a block, and a van pulls up next to me, and it's actually the Reverend from the spiritual center. They never take that route, and something compelled them to drive that way. And so I had a ride. I didn't have to walk all that way. Just a few other little things, like getting a ride when I needed it, getting to oh, can't even think of it right now, but there just a few things have happened pretty consistently the last 2 weeks when I'm focusing again on the positive. Okay, because I've been in a low vibrational state, in a not my typical peace, love, and harmony vibration, and now that I'm getting back into it, I can see how it's working for me. I can see how my raised vibrations are contributing to my happier being, because you give out, you get back. So another thing that I've done in the last couple of weeks is I've got one of these Himalayan, I'm just going to reach over here and show it to you, because these are super special if you get an opportunity. This is Himalayan sea salt, big old chunk. It's got this little hole in it, and I have a candle in here. When this warms up, it creates negative ions. Negative ions are a good thing. And so that contributes to my well-being as well. And again, with these essential oils, my daughter had her baby on Monday, and one of the things she's been using is essential oils to help with the discomfort, to help keep her contractions good and steady, and some some lavender, of course, for calming. But clary sage was a big one. And then I do make a combination of oils to help with pain, arnica and basil and bergamot. And anyway, it's just an amazing, amazing thing to be aware of. These synchronicities and how things are happening for us. There's so many things I want to talk about. Oh, okay. And then today also, when I was getting onto the bus after seeing after being at the thrift store and coming home, I'm getting on the bus, and then the lady's behind me, and she asked me if I needed any help. I said, oh, no, thank you. I've got this. Thank you so much. And she says, somebody told me to give this to you. And this is a bag with all kinds of cool stuff. All these organic supplements, and there's a New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs in here, which is something that I've been doing, is seeing the Bible in a different way. Organic toothpaste, or non-fluoride toothpaste, and a toothbrush. Which the funny thing is, a few days ago I was looking at mine, going, oh, I think I'm going to need a new toothbrush. Anyway, it came, and in this bag there was also a $100 bill, and that, anyway, I'm spending money that I wouldn't normally spend, but I have this idea that if I spend it, if I have it to spend, I will get it back. And again, that's an instant manifestation, because as I was shopping today, which I didn't spend a whole lot, but it was still, because I've had to help some other people financially, has, you know, dipped into mine. But anyway, again, I was just like, okay, spend this money, Simone. You have it. It will come back to you somehow. And wow, wow, within just a very short time, money came back to me. I've been living my life like this for the most part, the last couple of years, having this different understanding of the way the world works, different than what I was told and what we were all told how this works. Some people have been blessed with a with the insight, but anyway, I've got it now. And I'm still getting it. It's not that I've got this, but I totally get that there is a different way to experience life, and it doesn't have to do with going to work and hating your job and being miserable. Some people are blessed. They don't have a job. They have a career that they love, and they love getting up and going to work and doing what they're doing. But for the most part, most people don't jump up and down to go to work and be excited about it. So I've learned that that is not how we're supposed to live our life. And again, I follow the signs. I appreciate and I'm grateful for everything that comes my way, even the not so good things, because if you look at your life, if you look back in your life and you recall the really challenging situations that you endured, I'm going to say for the most part, you came out of that a stronger and more wise individual, and you learned something from it. What I've noticed too is I replay many things, lessons, different situations come up, and really the only thing that changes is the people and the places that they occur. So I can understand that this is about learning. We are definitely here on Earth School. Anyway, I just was really caught up about all these little synchronicities that occurred for me in a very, very short time today, and I wanted to share it with you in hopes that you too see the blessings and the Creator at work in your life when you are tuned in, or as in the teachings of Abraham, in the vortex. When you're in the vortex, things will happen for you. Is everything that you want in the world is out there, and you just have to line up with it. And I am really, really hoping to line up with a van with hand controls so I can get out and about more often. So again, with that, I'll let you go, and much peace, love, and harmony, and I'll talk to you soon.